Now, over the years, I've been able to constantly educate myself when it comes to abuse. Now, many of you guys have noticed recently I don't really do a lot of narcissistic abuse because that was a stage, When you've been after the discard, you go through the stages, you heal, you start looking after yourself, you work on yourself, you improve yourself. So basically, as the time goes on, you start shifting the energy. The energy shifts because, when you have healed, you no longer have interest to reminisce on the narcissist, talk about the narcissist and whatever happened. You understand what happened, you've healed from it, you moved away from it, and that's okay. Now, one of the things I remember that I started to discover, I used to watch some videos and people used to say, the narcissist knows what they are doing, okay? Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody has got a different experience. Some people, they have a way how they understand things, and it's okay. I don't normally fight with anybody's choices or stuff. But my discovery made me realize they do understand what they're doing, but they do not overstand and understand what they're doing. Why am I saying this is because they know. People say that they know what they are doing. Oh, the narcissist knows what they are doing. They know what they are doing. Yes, they know what they are doing because they are doing it. It's them who is doing it. But when you start to understand the psychology behind the narcissist, their mental framework, you realize that these people are trapped in a cycle of abuse. They are trapped in a very toxic cycle, and this is something they have been doing again and again. It's a very long time. There is no way around it. There's no way out of it. So there is things. That cycle also demands them to do things. Is why sometimes when we're talking about narcissists, you're going to always think we're talking about the same person. You talk about yours, I'll talk about mine. You're comparing, it's the same people. That's because it's the same energy. It's a similar energy, okay? That is exactly how the cycle works. Now, the cycle also demands certain behavior. When it comes to narcissistic abuse, it demands certain behavior. And that is exactly what they have been doing. But you need to understand, this is something they do not have power to control it. They cannot control that behavior. They move from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, or A to C to B to C to D. They cannot skip. The cycle is programmed in a sense whereby they cannot skip from one stage to another. They have got to go through that same stage. So everything that they do, they understand what they do because they are, again, I've told you, they have been doing it over and over again, and they are trapped. Mentally, they are trapped in that cycle. But as much as we understand that they do understand what they are doing, we need to understand they do not understand and understand the effect that their behavior has on certain people. Their victims, the one who are surviving with them. They do not understand and understand the effect because they are not able to process. Their brain is configured in such a way whereby they're not able to process the damage they are causing other people. Okay? So you cannot think that a narcissist will do something and they're going to go back and do some reflection. Oh, so I did this to this person. So what happens? What do I do? How can I go back and apologize? Maybe they have heard some people apologizing on TV. They can go around and do maybe sometimes a fake apology, but it's not genuine one. So the truth is, in my opinion and experience, having been with these people, I saw that there are some things they used to do. We could talk about them, or sometimes we could complain about them. Maybe they will give me a fake apology. At the time, I didn't even know there was something called a fake apology. They will give me a fake apology, and then they would continue that same thing the next day. It will be happening the next week until you are in a trauma bond whereby you have accepted that as their own behavior. So sometimes you may hear them say things like, that is how I am. What else can I do? That is all I know. That is who I've always ever been. And there's nothing you can change. You cannot change the cycle. The cycle, that is how the cycle works. So a lot of times people struggle, especially post-abuse. People struggle to make sense of exactly what just happened. Did these people do this? Did they mean it? They did it. That is exactly how the cycle works. But they could not process those things, behavior, the same way how you do process those things, because you have got a conscious. The narcissist has not got a conscious. You are a conscious being. You know how to process things in your head. You know how to understand things in a certain way. And you do realize at some point when you start healing and recovering, you do realize those people are trapped in their own head. There is nothing else they know apart from their cycle of abuse and cycle of operation. That is how they operate. Okay? So, do they know what they are doing? My question is, actually, this is a question I've had from some clients, and I think some people have reached out to me. Do they actually know what they are doing? They know what they are doing because they're the ones doing it. But they do not overstand or they don't understand the effect, because they cannot process that. They cannot feel it. They don't know how to feel these things. They don't know how to do some self-reflection, examine exactly what are they doing. They are not capable to do that. That is something that is beyond their consciousness. You are conscious, you can think about it, but they can't. So the truth is, they know what they are doing, but they do not overstand, and they do not understand the effects of those things they do to some other people. It's not possible for them to process. Okay? It's why most of the times when you leave these people and you educate yourself on the cycle of abuse and how it works, you reach a stage whereby you're like, okay, let them go. Let us just leave it. Let's leave it the way it is. Let it go. You forgive them because you understand what you're dealing with. Okay? You're dealing with a certain type of energy, and that energy has got its own signature. It cannot be otherwise. It has got to be exactly, you're dealing with the narcissist, so they are exactly going to do exactly what the narcissist does. All of them around the world, they're going to be doing the same thing. It doesn't matter which country they're coming from. It doesn't matter the color of their skin. Is going to be a similar energy. That is exactly how the abuse of narcissistic abuse, the cycle of narcissistic abuse works. Okay? I hope this video has given you clarity. For the most of you guys who ask me that question, if they do know what they are doing, that is exactly what is happening. Okay? Let us know what you think. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll see you guys in my next one. There's Almost signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.